CPR involves pushing on the chest, and typically pushing hard enough that ribs are broken, in order to mechanically pump the heart blood through the body. It involves putting a tube into one's mouth, down into one's lungs, and onto a machine to artificially provide oxygen, essentially so a machine breathes for you. And because the heart is electric, oftentimes when it stops, it's because of an electrical problem. And we try to reset the electricity by putting two paddles on the chest and sending a shock wave through the heart, essentially to jumpstart it. Now, if the likelihood that my heart is going to restart and I am going to come back to a quality of life that I find acceptable, absolutely, it's clearly indicated. In the setting of advanced serious illness, when somebody is dying, restarting the heart, more often than not, will bring somebody back to what they might consider to be a fate worse than death. In the setting of advanced cancer, in the setting of advanced lung disease, in the setting of advanced heart disease, typically what happens is that we can restart the heart, but we don't restart the brain, and we don't restart the legs, and we don't restart the lungs. So that oftentimes in the setting of serious illness, when CPR is applied, we bring somebody back to a state where they have to live in a hospital for the rest of their life. They're attached to a breathing machine for the rest of their life, and they can't think clearly and recognize people. For somebody with advanced dementia, advanced heart failure, very advanced lung disease, cancer, the odds of surviving to a state they would consider to be good quality of life is almost zero. And most people would say, I don't want that.
The compressions on your chest have to be deep. They have to be about 2 inches deep in order to be effective. Most thin elderly people and women are going to fracture a rib. The rib may go into the lungs. This may cause you to die, but it will cause you to die a miserable death. Even with an intubation, you still have blood in the lung, and if the lungs aren't strong enough, then a person is going to stay on a ventilator. It becomes very difficult to take you off, and pretty soon what you end up with is another surgical procedure, which is called a tracheostomy, and that's a hole in the throat right here. And people don't realize with one of those tubes, with a hole here, you can't talk. Sometimes you can't eat. So now you've created the person who is not going to get better, has a hole here for ventilation, is not likely to get better, and now they are getting artificial feeding. There is a reason God made food taste good. It's because that's the best way for us to get it. So when people are then getting artificial feeding, again, it poses another set of problems. I look at it as the balance of benefit versus burden. And where I do not expect the bridge that I'm going to be building by doing something for somebody to be getting someone somewhere that's better, I say don't do it. Her heart stopped, her lungs stopped, let's let things go.